Yes, today we'll be learning about Python programming language. So Python is a so who found out Python and why did he found out Python? Let's discuss that. Python was found by somebody named Udo van Rossum, who was acting in a TV series named Monty Python's Flying Circus. So he wanted his programming language to have a very short name, so which was very kind of mysterious, but it conveyed the message, etc. So he chose this name. And why was this language found? So this language was found so that the syntax becomes a little more easy and the program becomes a very short and it is easily readable for the user. So unlike a C program, this is kind of human friendly language. It is easier to read for the user and it is also very friendly and it is also very precise. Okay, so that is why he found out Python language. Till now it was not that famous, but recently this language has been used in every area and most of the startups are using this language. Okay, so what are the basic differences? Why did we go to Python language? Basically this is a middle level language, whereas Python is going to be a high level language. This is a middle level language, whereas Python is a high level language. High level language means it is easily readable for the users. The basic, what you have to compromise here, when you go for a high level language, the time required for it to give the result it's more. So since the time required is more, right now in embedded system we still use a C program only. We use embedded C for programming any microcontroller. We just use that because when we go for a higher language, the time taken for the device to respond is more. But if you want to make a software, if you want for going for web development, etc., you can use this Python language. So that is the first difference, middle level language and high level language, and the time taken for it to compile is more. But another difference is here we are using a compiler, whereas in Python we are using an interpreter. So for interpreter, what happens is it gives a line by line output. So the debugging becomes very easy in case of a Python language. Here the debugging is difficult because it compiles the entire program and then gives the errors, right? But here the debugging is becoming easier because it is using this interpreter. Since it is using this interpreter, it goes line by line, it finds a mistake, it shows you the mistake, then you correct it and then it goes to the next line. So that is why we use an interpreter here and debugging is becoming easy. So these two are related. So the next difference is that it is it takes more time. This is going to take more time for compilation or going to give the result. Sorry, it is going to take less time. Sorry, and this is going to take more time. This is going to take more time. Why it's taking more time? Because the program has become very short. We are not declaring anything, we are just giving a is equal to 5. Program understands that it is an integer. So that is why, that is the next difference. Here we need to declare every variable. Declaration is required. Here we do not need any declarations. So since we do not declare any declaration, computer has to automatically understand, just as human beings understand. Python has to understand that it is an integer. So that is why it is taking more time. So the next difference is that here the memory management is very it's not that efficient. It is not efficient, whereas here the memory management is quite efficient. Memory management is quite efficient over here because it has got a garbage collector. Whatever memory is not used by the program, whatever memory is not used by the program, it is collected by the garbage collector and it is deleted. So the memory management is efficient over here. So these are the basic differences that you note in a Python program and a C program. Okay, now we'll go into the applications of Python. So Python is basically used for so we'll be going into the applications. Next we'll be going into the applications of Python language. applications. Let's give it another color so that it becomes easy. Yes, let's go into the applications. Yeah, the applications are mainly, it is used for software development. It is used for software development. That is, if you want to make any desktop application, any kind of applications for your computer, you can go for Python programming language, because it has got various modules. You want to connect it with Excel file, you want to connect it with SQL file. There are various modules, Python pandas, TKINTER, everything is available for you. So it becomes easy for you to connect with different platforms, and the programming is also very precise, and it takes a very less time for you to write the program. So that is why it is used for software application, and it is also used for web design or web development applications. It is used as a scripting language for automating things. For automating things also you can use as a scripting language, Python. Then where it is used, actually there are various applications which you can find, like in mathematics, to make it more easy, for making your calculations more easy. Also you can use in mathematics, also for solving various problems you can use Python language. Okay, yeah, for me, while working with Python, I have been working with Python for quite a few years, and what I have found is that if you want to write like something into your Excel file, you can modify the things in Excel file, you can manipulate the data that is given in the Excel file. Okay, you can create an Excel file, you can append it to an existing Excel file. So there are various features that are available for Python. So that is how you find the applications of Python. Okay, next we'll be going into how to write a program, what you need to install for writing the program. So let's see what you need to install for writing the program for Python, and start with programming. Let's start with programming. Okay, let's go to how to download the Python ideally for writing the Python program, and let's start programming. So for that, you go to the Microsoft Store. There you search for Python, you get Python ideally, you get 3.7, 3.8. It doesn't matter which Python ideally what you are using, but there are basic slight differences between each. So here in my tutorial I'll be using Python 3.8. so here it's okay whichever you download, basic differences can be studied. Okay, so this here you get the Python 3.7, 3.8. so just take this and just download it because it is free, and if you want some tutorials etc also it is available. So this is how you download the Python program. So you go to the search button, you press IDLE Python 3.8 32-bit comes up, and you open it, and here we are going to write the program. So let's start with the first program. As in any other programming language, hello world program. Okay, I just download it. Yes, this is a Python ideally that you have got, and let's start programming. Start a new file. Okay, this is a new file, and here we're going to write just print hello world. Okay, I'm just printing hello world. Okay, let's see what is the output. For running, just press F5. You have to save this, save it anywhere, desktop, program. Okay, it prints hello world, that's it. So it's unlike any other programming language, it is the easiest way you can print it, right? So again you go to the editor. Okay, this is the first program. So just start programming with me, just pause the video and just take your IDLE and write this. Okay, if you want to add two numbers, you give a equal to 5, b equal to 10, c equal to a plus b, and you print, you give c. What happens? It prints output, that's it. Or you just need to give like something like this, print a plus b. Need not give this also, you can just give print a plus b here. You can run it, press F5 or just press this one. Okay, you get 15. So here also you can give a plus b. 15, a, 5, b. So this is basically an interpreter. Okay, then the next program. Let's go to the next program. Yeah, just erase this. Okay, we'll find the greatest of three numbers. First we need to input three numbers. How do we input the numbers? Let it be ABC. So A you have to write this term input. It's just like how human beings talk. Okay, just give input and what you want to come as the output. See, in C we give like printf, enter the number, then you scan, right? So these two are given in one step itself. Enter the number A. Okay, finished. No need for any semicolon. Okay, only thing in syntax is indentation. That comes into play only when you use if, else, for loop, etc. Now you need not worry about that. B, again the same thing. You can just copy this. You can paste it here. You can paste it here. Okay, it's just change it into A, B and C. Okay, here you have to change it into B and C. So you're inputting these three numbers. The first number goes into this variable, second this one, and third this one. So now you have to find which is the greatest of these three. So here we're using if else. Okay, if A is greater than B and C, then you're going to write A is the greatest, right? So if A is greater than B, here we just need to write and, no need to for the ampersand sign and all. Okay, just need to write and. If A is greater than B and A is greater than C, in loops, in if else, everywhere you have to put this colon, and you press enter. The indentation directly comes. If it doesn't come, you have to press your tab space. A single tab space has to be given. If A is, then what has to print? It has to print in single quotes, A is the greatest. Right? So similar goes for B and C. So I'll write it and show you. Okay, so repeat the steps. So you went through all the if else concept, etc. right? So otherwise you can give it like this, or you can also give it as else if here. Okay, so else if you do not write else if, you write ELIF. Okay, the last one you can give as else itself. If else if loop I'm taking. So just run this program. Let's see, let's give the inputs. Okay, invalid syntax. Okay, else you need not do this, right? I'm sorry, we need not have any condition for else. Okay, you give number 12, 3 and 67. C is the greatest, so we can run it. You can take the value of A is 12. You can give the value of A as 89. Okay, then you find C is equal to 9. You can give, you can change the values also. You can find the value of the output also. Anything you can do inside the interpreter. So let's go to the, this is the greatest of three numbers. You entered three numbers, you got C is the greatest. Okay, next let's go to the next program. Let's take a complex number. Okay, let's take a complex number, and you have to find the real part and the imaginary part. So I'm giving C is equal to 7 plus 9j. Okay, this is a complex number. I'm giving Q equal to C dot real, the real part of C. R is equal to C dot imaginary part. Okay, and S I'm taking it as C dot conjugate. Okay, whenever you write a complex number, you need to get the real part, you need to get the imaginary part.
and you also need to get the conjugate, right? So these are the three basic concepts in complex numbers. So you can print, or you need not print it, you can just write in the interpreter and see. Okay, I'll go into the interpreter and I'll Q, R and S I'll check. See, 7 plus 9j, right? Okay, just check Q, the real part. R, you got the imaginary part. S, you got the conjugate. So this is how it works. Okay, let's go to the next program. I hope you can see the screen, right? Or do I need to zoom it? Okay, let's go to the next program to check whether it is a palindrome or not. Okay, you're entering a string. You're going to check it is going to be a palindrome or not. It is quite easy, not like in C. So let's check. You're giving a string. Okay, you're giving a string, and the string is, okay, you have to input a string. I'm giving it as an input. Here you're giving enter the string. Okay, that string goes to str. Okay, what is str? Another string I am giving, and that is nothing but the reverse of it. How do you get the reverse of it? You get a square bracket. Okay, I'll be going for the concepts of this in the next, after completing this program, I'll be teaching you about all these concepts. There is a concept of like data types, list, string, tuple, dictionary, etc. So here we're going to save it into a list, and here you're going to give double colon, and what that means and all I will be teaching you. What is double colon, etc. I'll be teaching you. Okay, it comes a reverse. So I'll put double colon. Okay, -1. Okay, it gives you the reverse, and you just need to check whether if str and str1 is same. If str equal to str1, then what happens? You have to print, yes, it is a palindrome. Otherwise, what it has to print? Else it has to print it is not a palindrome. Yes, that's it. And one more thing, you have to put this inside a bracket. Even if you don't put, I think it is okay, but I'll just put it inside the brackets because you're using an equal to and all. Okay, let's run it. Enter the string jij. It is a palindrome. JIJK. Sorry, you have to run it again, otherwise it will not come. Run it again. Enter the string JIJK. It is not a palindrome. Okay, understood the concept? So next, so palindrome is over. So palindrome uses a concept of list. So let's go into that concept. Now here list, dictionary, everything comes into play, tuple, etc. comes into play. So let's learn the standard data types that is used in Python programming. Okay, let's jump into it. Yes, so for going for the next programs, some basic theory you have to learn. Okay, so first we'll be going for the standard data types, the numbers, the string, the list, tuple and dictionary. In C it was int, float, char, etc. So here we use number, string, list, tuple, dictionary, etc. Array was also a data type, right? So like that, here there are no arrays. So first one is numbers. In numbers, like in C only, you have got integer, you have got float, you have got long, and you have also got complex. So these are the basic numbers, integers, number data types. Next is string data type. So let's go for string data type. Yes, this is a string data type. Like A can be a string of length 1, ABCD can be a string of length 4. So that is basically how you have learned in C only. Next is list. So how do you represent a list? List is something which is given in square bracket, which you have used in palindrome question. So elements can be changed inside the list. You can reverse it, you can add things, you can remove things, you can manipulate things, etc. So list is very useful in Python. So next is tuple. It has got curly brackets. It has got, tuple is represented like this. It cannot be changed. Once you declare a tuple, it cannot be changed. Okay, what is a dictionary? Dictionary is something in which you give it is in brackets, normal brackets. Okay, dictionary is something in which tuple is not like this. Okay. Tuple is represented by normal brackets, and in dictionary we used curly brackets. So this is how in dictionary, what you suppose you have got 10 products inside a store, like orange, apple, banana, etc. For orange, the rate per kilogram is 100. So give in the dictionary, you give the name of that item, orange, you give the value like 100, comma, apple 50. So you have a item name, you have got a value assigned to it, just like in a dictionary you've got a name and the meaning of it. Here you've got a item and its value. So this is given inside a dictionary. Okay, we'll be doing the programming so that you can understand where it is used, how it is used, various operations that is used in any of these. So you might be thinking we are not using any integer, like we do not need int for declaring it. So then why do you need this data type, int, float, etc.? We do not use it to write the program, but if you want to know if a is equal to 5, you gave in the output, you want to know what is the data type used for a, you can write it as what you can find the data type used for a. That I'll show you in the program how to find it out. Okay, so this is a basic idea of data types in Python. Okay, let's go to the program to learn how to use this. Yes, I hope now you can see this. Yeah, I hope now you can see the screen very clearly. So now we'll be going for the concept of list and tuple. So I'll be showing you a program, what is a list and what is a tuple. Okay, let's start with list. So as the name suggests, it is just a list. It can include a character. Everything is taken as string only in Python. That we'll understand later. It can take number. It can take your name like John, anything. So this is how a list goes. It can take any decimal number, etc. Okay, this is a list. Now if you tell it to print, okay, I'll go to the interpreter and show you how it works. Now you just remember what is a list, right? So I'll just go to the interpreter and show you how it works. Okay, yeah, okay, let's see how it works. Yeah, okay, I'll just print this list. Print okay, next we'll be doing a program on list and tuple. So this is a program that I'll be doing on list and tuple. Okay, so let's first make a list. So as the name suggests, list means it's just a list of anything. It can be a list of strings, numbers, anything you can include. Like you can include a floating point number, anything. So you have to put it inside square bracket. So inside the square bracket, I'm including a string name. Then I'm including some numbers. Then I'm including some decimal numbers. Then I'm also including anything you can include. So this is just a list that I have made. Okay, this is the list that I have made. So you want, with this list you can perform various actions. So let's do it in the interpreter so that it becomes easy. At the moment itself we can see the output. So I'm just going to run this module and take the output. Okay,
desktop. I have saved the file. Now we'll take the output. So I just want to print the list, so just take print. I just want to see the list. This is the list. So you want to append a number, suppose list, just type list dot append. What do you want to append? You want to append a number like 789. Okay, now just you print the list again. Okay, now we have got the number appended to that list. Now let's see if you want to print the numbers from 2 to 3. So you just need to I'm going to print the numbers. Okay, print the list from 2 to 3. So let's see what's the output. 2 to 3. Yeah, this is second. This is a 0 1 2. This is the second number. Till 3 means less than 3 only it will come. Only the second number will come. Okay, 0 1 2. So 79.9 has come. Suppose you want to print the numbers, print the list. Suppose you want to print the list from 2 to 5. Let's see what's output. Sorry, there is a syntax error. Yeah, 2 to 5. Let's see what output. So this is 0 1 2 3 4 till less than 5 it has come. Okay, now let's see another one. List dot count of 2. Yeah, you want to find the number of times 2 has come. Only one time it has come, right? So the output will be 1. Anything you can give. Here you can give the number of times get has come. It will be 1. So the number of times, the count of a particular value, that also can be done. Yeah, you can find the maximum of the list by doing the same thing. List dot maximum of the list. Yes, if you understood the mistake is that in a list, if you want to find the maximum, everything should be numbers. So I'm defining a list in which everything is like numbers 7 6 9 and 10, and then let's check the maximum. Okay, list dot maximum of list. Let's check the output. It's not coming. Maximum of list. Yeah, this is the function. I'm sorry, but the function is maximum of list is the 10 number. So that is how you get the maximum. So this is basically the operation that can be done inside a list. Tuple is just like a set. So for representing tuple, you have got a particular bracket, use that bracket, and it is, you just define some variables inside that. That's it. There are no operations that can be done inside the tuple. Okay. Now let's see how a tuple, how a dictionary is going to work. So to define a dictionary, yeah, the next program is about dictionary. Yeah. Okay, so first you define a dictionary. You can use any letter, you use a curly bracket, and inside you give a variable name and a value. Okay, so let's define a dictionary like this. Okay, I'm defining a dictionary like this. Now let's go to the interactive shell. I'm just first we'll just print capital D. Okay, so this is a dictionary that we have, and okay, let's get the value of b. So to get the value of b, what you have to do is print, we just get the value of d dictionary. You need the value of b. Okay, put it inside like this. Value of b is 6. You want to get the value of c, then you can give it like this, c. Okay, get hello. So this is how you get the value of each variable inside the dictionary, and you want to delete a particular variable and its value. So just to delete del. What do you want to delete? Which variable you want to delete? Suppose you want to delete b. Okay, just variable b, you need to delete it. Now you just print the dictionary. You just print the dictionary and see b has gone. Okay, so next is like next is you want to find the type of a certain thing. So just find if you check the type of this dictionary D, you get class dictionary. So you declare it as a string and then you check the type, you get string. Now let's check the length of this dictionary, len of d. You get the length of this dictionary. Length of the dictionary is 2 because b we have deleted. Okay, these are the various operations that can be done inside a dictionary. Now let's go for the next program. Okay, so dictionary is finished, list and tuple is different. Finished. Tuple is just like a set. You give some numbers, it remains like that. Inside the list you give some numbers, string, floating point, etc., and you can do operations. Now in dictionary what happens, you can give a variable name and its value, and you can store it as a dictionary, and you can take the value of each variable, you can access it directly. Okay, that is what a dictionary is doing. Okay, now let's go to the next program. Okay, otherwise we'll do one thing, write a small program with this dictionary stuff. Okay, you want to find whether a variable is there in a dictionary or not. Okay, you are inputting that. Okay, so a is equal to input, you are entering a value, enter a variable name, you're entering a variable name. Okay, and then you're checking if a is there, if a is there in d. So to check if a is there in d or not, it's like a in d. So this you have to know. Okay, a in d, semicolon, not semicolon, colon. If a is there in d, what happens is you have to print that. You have to print a, and you have to print the value of a. If whatever value you have assigned for that also has to come, right? Okay, else what happens, else colon, you have to print it is not in the dictionary, not in dictionary. Okay, and then d of if it is not there in the dictionary, you are going to add it into the dictionary, and you are going to give a value 1 for it, and you are going to print the dictionary. Okay, this is the program. Let's run the program. Okay, you're entering a variable name, so whatever dictionary you have given, there is a program. So this is a dictionary, you're entering a variable name as c. C is there, the value is 5. Well, let's run it once again and enter something which is not there. Okay, let's enter h.
Okay, H is not there in the dictionary. So H is not there, you're appending that H into this dictionary and you are giving it a value 1. Where have you given it? You have given it here. So suppose you give 90, what happens? Let's run it and see. You know, right, what will be the output. Your I, it will enter I and 90 will be added if it is not there in the dictionary. So if it is there in the dictionary, it will just display the value. If it is not there in the dictionary, it will add that particular variable name and its value into the dictionary. So this is a very small program just to get you acquainted with the basic idea of a dictionary. Okay. Yeah. Now let's go to metrics. How do you represent a matrix? For metrics, you want to manipulate it, right? You want to add, you want to subtract, and you do everything. So you just represent it as a list. So how do you represent it? So inside the square bracket, you give, if there are 3 rows, you give 3 rows separated by semicolon. For each row, how many columns? Suppose 5, 6, 1, 2, 2, 3. Okay, this is one matrix. This is nothing but, I hope you understood, right? L, how does it look when we write? It's like 5, 6, below that it will be like 1, 2, 2, 3. Okay, this is the matrix that we have 3 rows and 2 columns. This is the first list. Now let's make the second list. Okay, and I'll write the program to add these 2 matrices. Okay, let's write it and I'll show you. I have made the next list, and I have also the sum list also I have made. You have to initialize it to 0, only then you can get the output. So next you write the I loop and J loop for adding these 2. For I in the range of 3, right? Like there are 3 rows, so I will be in the range of 3 and J will be in the range of 2. Okay, so write those 2 loops and write the addition step. So I have written the loop for both I and J, and I have written the step for addition, and I have printed S. So when I run the program, you get the output as 795755. So 5 plus 2, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5, 7, 5, 5, right? So that will be the output. So this is how you add 2 matrices in Python. Okay, let's go to the next program. Okay, for multiplication, I'll be taking a 3 cross 3 matrix, because you know the number of columns of the first should be equal to the number of rows. So I'll just be taking, for simplicity, I'll be taking 3 cross 3 matrix. So I'll be taking 2 matrices, L1 and L2. Okay, I have defined 2 3 cross 3 matrix L1 and L2, and the multiplication I have initialized to 0. Now next write the I loop and J loop. So let's write it with you. Please write it with me. For I in range, both are 3, right? Rows and columns are 3. Okay, don't forget to put the colon and the indentation also, don't forget. For J in range, that also 3. Okay, what you have to do is M I J is nothing but you have to add to the previous MIJ, right? So M I J plus what you have to multiply L I. There is one more loop for K also, don't forget that. For multiplication there are 3 loops. Range of just check the working of how the matrix multiplication work. So you basically multiply the indexes
ik and kj. That is how it works. The basics, that same program you have learned in C only. Okay, so how do you do that here? You add L1 I k, and for L2 what do you take? I hope you know the logic for that. Just try writing it down. Okay, you'll understand it. If you have any doubts, please ask in the comment section. Second, I can take a tutorial on how to do the multiplication in matrix multiplication in Python or C. Everything is the same only. The logic is same. K J. Okay, now let's run the program and see the output. Yep, you got the output of the multiplication. Okay, now let's go to the next program. Yeah, now let's check how to find a factorial of a number using functions in Python. Let's learn about functions in Python. Okay, first of all, whatever number you want to find the factorial, you input it, and it is stored in the variable n. Factorial, you give it as 1. Then you call the function. The function name is fact. You call the function fact of n. So you have to define the function, right? So earlier we had a declaration, definition, etc., and function call, etc. Here you call the function, you just define the function. How you define it is like it's same always. Def is a definition. That is how you define a function. Okay, that is a format. As you have given, fact of n is a function name. You put the semicolon. It is going to work in the form of loops, right? So you have to multiply first 1 into 1, then you store that 1 into a variable, and that 1 into 2. Suppose you give the number as 7, that number into 2 you'll do, and again you get 2, then 2 into 3 you do, till which number? Till 2 into 7, right? So 7 factorial means 7 into 6 into 5, till 7 you have to do. So when you give the range, you give a for loop, I loop. Okay, inside the factorial, from which number you have to start multiplying? From 1, right? So for I should be in the range, it should start with 1 and it should go till n plus 1. If you give just like n, it will not work, because in Python everything is taken as string. So if it is an integer, you have to give it as an integer. Okay, this is how it works. You put the colon and you close it. You put the colon and you come down. Okay, now you have to find the factorial, right? Or just give it as f. That's it. Okay, f is equal to f into I. Return f. Okay, so when you return f, the value comes over here. What is f into I? You understood? I will be 1 first. 1 into f is also 1. 1 gets stored into f. Then 1 into 2. Then 2 into 3. Like that it goes. At last you find the factorial and it comes back here. It returns f. And what is f? Is you have to print what? Factorial of n is f, right? So let's see the output. Oh, there is an error. Let's see. Okay, now let's check how to define a function inside Python. So to define a function inside Python, this is the way you do it. I've just written a program. You just write def, and whatever is the function name, suppose the function name is add, you write add. What are the variables used inside that? A and B, you give it. Okay,
then you put the colon, and then you print what sum is, whatever it is, a plus b. Okay, this is how you write a function inside Python. So I'm defining 4 functions for add, subtract, multiplication and division. For subtract, I put a minus b, multiplication a into b, and a divided by b. And I want to take this function. I'm using this function somewhere else. In some other program, I want to add 2 numbers, then I can just import it from this file. So I've saved it as arith.py. So it's arithmetic.py. I've taken another file and I'm importing this arith. How do you do that? I'm just writing it here. Okay, you write import arith. Okay, and then what happens is you give the name of that file, arith dot add, what numbers you want to add, 7 and 8. Okay, you just give it there, you give, okay, like that you do. Okay, you want to multiply, you just give arith dot whatever name you have given here, mul, mul, 2 into 3 you want to do, 2 comma 3. Okay, you want to subtract, you want to multiply, you want to divide 2 numbers, arith dot div, what numbers, 8 and 4. Okay, now you just run the program. Okay, you got 5, 1, 6 and 2. Yeah, 5, 1, 6 and 2. So that is how you import a particular file, and from that you take the defined functions. This is the file name, this is the function name, this is the function name, and this is the file name. This is how you import it to another file. Okay, now let's go to the next program. I hope you saw the output. I think the output screen was outside this. So the output is like this. You got 5, 1, 6 and 2. Okay, according to the numbers that you give. Now let's go to the next program.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the tutorial. Today we'll be seeing how to create a window, how to create a graphical user interface using Python. So Python is very useful for developing the front end. So let's see how to make a front end. So here we have got a module called TKINTER. Whenever you want to make a window or any front end, any graphical user interface, you have to import this module. You have to import TKINTER. Then from TKINTER you just import everything. So you can individually import like message box, button, everything you can import. But for our easiness of doing, I'm importing just everything. So from TKINTER import star, and I'm defining a function define test. Okay, and then I'm going to give a button on the window, and when I press that button, it's going to print button pressed. So that function, when you press that button, whatever is going to happen, I am going to write here. Okay, button pressed. Okay, and for this TKINTER I'm going to give a name, top equal to TK. Okay, I'm going to give a name top. So this top is used to access everything. Whenever you access the button, message box, everything, you have to mention this name top. Okay, so for B, I'm giving a variable name B for this button. So this is the format for calling a button. There are different formats for different things, like for button, for message box, everything. So just go through the Python basic tutorial PDF files that is available, or anything, or I'll share you the link for basic tutorial of Python. So different formats are given. You need not by heart. Whenever you want to do something, just take it and refer and just write the syntax. So the text I'm going to print is inside the button. The text I'm going to print is hello Fancy, and I'm going to give a border for it, which is like 5, and I'm going to give a background for it, which is like, what do you want? Let's go for blue. Okay, then what else do you need? I'm going to, okay, I want to call this function, right?
Which function? I want to call this function test.
Yeah. Okay. So command that I'm going to give is command is nothing but test. Okay. Sorry, it is not like this. It's command equal to test. Everything is equal to. Only of this bracket. Okay. And then you have to pack this. Everything, whatever you place, you have to pack it and you have to place it. We're going to pack this, and that is a fire. That is a function which is already there, and I'm going to, whenever you make a window, this top dot main loop, okay, it has to run again. Only then the window will persist on the screen. As if we don't mention this step, it will just come and go. Okay, now let's run the program. I'm pressing F5 to run the program. F5. Okay, I'm just saving it as a program. Okay, yeah, it's coming. Hello Fincy. I'm gonna let's see the output. Yes, this is the output screen. You can see a button. I'll give it another color so that you can see. When you press this button, it prints button pressed. So this is how it functions. I'll just give another color. Okay, I'll give it something like yellow so that you can see it. Button pressed, and I'm giving welcome Fancy. Okay, now let's run it. Okay, when I press again, you want to see the screen. Yes, this is the output. It has come hello Fancy. I press it, button pressed, welcome Fancy. So this is basically how you create a window and how you create a button. We can create various things. You can create an entry box, you can create check boxes, everything can be created. So this is the basic format. So let's go to the next video in which I'll be explaining the next login screen using Python, and then we'll do a calculator itself using Python. Okay, so see you in the next video.
Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel Code with me. So today we'll be learning something of application level, how to create a login screen. Whichever website you go, wherever you go, you have got a user ID and a password, then only you can log in into that particular website, right? So how do we create that using Python? So it will be very useful for you. Let's see how to do it. So for that, first we have to import TKINTER. You know why I'm importing TKINTER. So basically for displaying a window, the module used is called TKINTER. So I'm importing TKINTER, and from TKINTER I am importing star. Basically I'm importing everything from TKINTER. In some cases there we have to import each of the widgets that are used in TKINTER separately. For example, in some cases we need to import from TKINTER import message box, import entry box, like that you have to give. Okay, import button. So in that case we'll mention it, but let's see whether it works out with this. Okay, so first, so I'm going to do it in a professional way. That is, I'm going to define it as a function. Okay, so in the basically we'll first write the main program. So for main program I'm giving the window top is equal to tk. Okay, and top is the name that I'm going to give to that window. So that is the name of the TKINTER window, and I'm going to give a button into the screen, and button I'm giving it as B. You can give any name, B, B1, B2, button, anything. Okay, B I'm giving it but this button should be written like this, like this itself, because it is a syntax button. Where am I displaying the button? In the top screen, and the text inside the button is going to be login. Okay, I'm going to create a login button, and the border is going to be like 5, and background I'm going to give it as blue, and then I'm going to give a command. That is, when I press on the login button, it has to display, right? What has to display? That it is login successful or cannot login or password mismatch. Something should come, no? That I'm going to give it as a function, and I'm going to call that function over here. Function is named as test. Okay, and we also need two labels and two entry boxes. So I'm giving a label 1. Basically, did you understand what window I'm going to make? Two labels will be there: login ID, password. Two entry boxes for the login ID and password, and a login button will be there. Okay, label top. Okay, let me give it and show it to you. Okay, this is how it goes. Label top, text is going to be login ID, and border I'm giving as 5. E1 is entry box, you can give any name. Entry top, background is going to be yellow, and border is going to be 10. Okay, same way let me give the next label and the next entry box. Okay, I'm giving the next label and the next entry box. Now let's see what to do next. Next, we need to mention where you should place this particular label and entry box inside the window. You can place it like you have got an x-axis and y-axis. You can mention the x-axis. X-axis can be constant, and y-axis you can differ so that it comes down, down, down like that. Okay, so we need to place it. So we need to place L1, L2, E1, E2, and also the button B. Okay, let's place it and see how you do it. This is how we place it. You have to put L1 dot place. X-axis I'm giving it as 50. Y-axis I'm giving it as 0. Okay. Next, what will place? Entry box I'll place. E1 dot place. Okay, where will I place it? I'll give X as 100, Y as 0 itself. Okay, L2 dot place. I will give X as 50, E2 dot place. I'll give X as 100 and Y also 100, and I'm going to place a button B dot place. X equal to 50, Y equal to 400. Let me give. Give it as 200. Okay, so let's before you run this program, you need to define this function test. So let me define this function test. Def test. First, let me just print something very normally so that you can understand the program. Print create the function. Okay, so this is what it is going to print. So let me see. I have not completed with the program. I just wrote the skeleton of the program. Okay, and now to display the screen continuously, I have to put top dot main loop continuously. Have to call that. Okay, so let's run it. Let's run the program and see the output. I have run the program and the window has gone outside. I'll show it to you. Yeah, hope you can see we have got a login ID, we've got a password, and you press on the login button, it shows create the function. Okay, now let's complete the program. How to complete it? Let's see. some editing. B need not be this far away from it. I can be like 200 or something, and this also can be 150. Okay, now let's create a function here. So what you need to have, and you enter something in the box. You have to take that string which you enter into the box into a variable, okay, and you have to check whether the variable password is equal to the password that we have set, and if it is equal, login should be successful, and if it is not equal, what it should give? It should give login incorrect password, right? So how do we do that? So first you have to set the password. Okay, p is equal to, the password is password, okay, and inside this you should get it right. So you should define two variables, and you have to get e1, the data in e1 box, and also you have to get the data in e2 box dot get. Okay, then you have to write if in e2 you are typing the password, right? If that password which you typed is equal to p, then what happens is you have to display a message box which is showing an information window login successful. So you show a message box. Okay, let me write it. So you wrote message box dot show info window login is successful. Okay, now if it is not equal, if this doesn't happen, there should be else condition, right? So else what should happen? Else what it should show? Message box dot show info incorrect password, cannot log in. Okay, let me write that. Okay, window comma incorrect password. Okay, let me close this. Okay, now let me run the program and see, okay, if there is any error. This is the output screen. Okay, I'm entering my name, I'm entering the password, pressing login. Okay, there is some error, message box is not defined. So in this case what you have to do is you have to import message box from TKINTER. So I have written this line from TKINTER, you are importing message box. Okay, since I'm using this message box here, we need to separately call this, import this. Okay, now let's run it and see. We just notice something. The name that is given here is TK. How does that come? Also, we will check in the coming videos. Okay, now here you are entering the login ID. I'm entering Fancy, and I'm entering the password as I'm entering a wrong password. Okay, we'll enter the correct password. Login. Okay, login is successful. Okay, now if I'm entering a wrong password, incorrect password. So this is basically how you create a login screen. You can include some variations to this, like for first time you type a wrong password, it comes the window shows as cannot log in. Second time you type, it shows one more chance. Third time you type, you can show that try again after some time. So how do you do that? Do you want to try it on your own, or should I do it? If you want me to do it, please comment in the comment box, so that I can explain you that case in which 3 times if you type the wrong password, then you can no more type the password, then shows try again after some time. So how does that happen? So I'll show you. If you want it, I'll just show you in the coming videos, or else you can do it on your own. There is nothing much to understand in that. Okay, so hope you understood how to create a login window and to create a message box showing that login is successful or not. Okay, so let's show the program once again. So this is a program, it's very simple. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye.